Hello everyone, welcome back to Graybeard's Garage. I'm Graybeard. We got another project for you today. I've been waiting on this one for a few months now, and hopefully it's going to be a good one for you. What we got today, I have my 2007 Ram 2500. This old boy has been taken very well care of. Of course, got some paint peel and whatnot, but his bones are great, no rust, no serious damage. But what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this factory bumper here. And we are going to put on this humongous ARB Deluxe. So we'll get to that once we get it out of the crate when it's ready to go on. But I want to show you what else is needed for this project. First of all, you need a fitment kit for your particular year and model. This, like I said, this is for a 3rd gen. You got to make sure you get the right fitment kit that goes with the bumper. So when you order your bumper, you make sure you got the right model and right year. On this particular one, you get your instruction sheet, miscellaneous zip ties, wiring harness adapters for the turn signals that it provides to put in the bumper, nice heavy duty O-rings that come out in front of the bumper because you cannot use the factory tow hooks that comes with it. This is a rubber seal that goes around this top cover if you do not put a winch on it, which right now we're not going to put a winch on, and we do that at a later date. Of course, all your miscellaneous hardware and brackets. Some of these brackets are not used because this particular kit covers the 1500 all the way up to the 3500. And here's your license plate bracket mount. We have the shrouds that mount into the bumper for the factory fog lights if you use them. Of course, they give you turn signals that mount in the front of the bumper for both sides. These are the brackets, I believe, for the fog lights. Here's the retainer brackets for the mud shield that is inside the wheel well. Then this bracket I think is not used for my application. So a nice collection of bits and everything, so it makes it kind of confusing. You get a ton of hardware in here and you're not going to use all of this hardware for this particular application. Another thing that you need to order is the brackets for your particular model. This is the brackets for 2500 and 3500. It is absolutely different for 1500 because the brackets are designed differently because of the fact that we have the intercooler. So what we're going to have to do is get this thing pulled off. It's pretty much straightforward. We're going to have to pull these front 2 bolts here off so that we'll be able to move the intercooler out of the way because there are U-bolts on both sides, which hopefully you can see. Probably seeing better from underneath, but there's a U-bolt that goes through on both sides. We've got to pull those off, drop this factory bumper off. So really the only thing we've got to do is disconnect the wiring harness for our fog lights, which is over here on this side behind the bumper. I've got to dismount my bar light here and then just drop those bolts out from the U-bolts. Like I say, you can see this one a little bit better. It's on either side. You got 2 19mm nuts. Then that drops out. Then this bumper comes off. And then it's just a matter of putting the new brackets on. I got a couple holes to drill, hang the new bumper, and a little bit of finish up. So it's pretty much straightforward. So let's get busy with this. There you have it. The old bumper is off. Kind of a pain in the butt to get those factory U-bolts out. You've got one on each side. Goes from the inside of the frame outward. There's barely enough room to clear by the intercooler to get those out. So what I might end up doing is I may end up taking these brackets and shaving them down a little bit, because all these do is capture the nuts, which give me the bolts to where you put the nuts on. So I may just shave these down a little bit, make it easier to go behind that intercooler when I put the other bumper back on. All right, so that's it for getting that one down. I'm gonna get it out of the way and we're gonna see about getting those brackets put on. All right, so here's the mounting brackets for your 3rd gen 2500, 3500 Dodge Ram. It's real simple. You slide on. Oop, I got one thing I gotta move here. Let's get that out of the way. Alright, this one came with the oil heater and the oil pan, so I've got to get that moved out of the way, that cord. So this will slide on. And what you're going to do once you get this slid on, you're going to put your factory U-bolt right here, back through the frame, and bolt it down. And then you're going to have to go through and drill a hole completely through the frame and then into this. And the instructions are pretty clear as to how to go about doing that. So there that is. You know, I might end up just cheating and putting these U-bolts the opposite direction. Because I tell you, they were such a pain in the ass to get in the other way. This one might go in all right. Let's see. And there's really not much room on the center cooler. I guess some are easier than others. This one just does not want to cooperate very well. So let's see if I can tap it up in there. And on a sad note, sitting here I found out I have a pinhole right here on my condenser on the back side. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to repair that or if I might just replace the condenser. I just heard something leaking and sure enough, that's what it was. Kind of interesting, the other videos I've seen of putting these bumpers on, they never really show you taking these U-bolts out or putting them in, and I could see why. Because it takes you a while. If it wasn't such a pain in the ass to just remove the intercooler, it'd be the way to go. There it goes. Finally! Alright, so now that that's on there, going to put our nuts on. You can always fine-tune this whenever you finally get your bumper on. So what I'm going to do at this point, go ahead and see if I can get that other one on. Wish me luck. I'll be back when we get the other U-bolt put through. Alright, so our next step is we have to bore a hole clean through the frame and into the other side of this mounting bracket for what they call a lockdown bolt. And what that does, it gives you 3 points of contact here on the frame to strengthen it up for when you do your pulls when you have a winch on board. So you need to center more or less between these 2 parts of the bracket and about 35 millimeters up, which is roughly about 3/4 inch to 1 inch up. gonna start off with a smaller drill bit. See if we can't get this started. Make sure you keep a little bit of oil on there so you don't smoke your bit out and dull it. Alright, through the first side. Try to get it as straight as you can going through. Alright, we are all the way through. Now we need to step it up. This was about an 8mm bit. We need to step it up to a 12mm as per instructions. Whew. Tell you, being almost 100 degrees and about 80% humidity don't help things much. Alright, so there's that side. Now we need to find the 10mm bolt that it recommends in the instructions here out of our kit and get that put in. Alright, so here you have it. Got our hole drilled and our pinch bolt installed. Just wanted to show you. On my truck, luckily I've got enough clearance here between these bolts so I could have put this in backwards. That's the best way to do it that I found, instead of wrestling with this intercooler. So what I got to do now is here on the other side, I have to do the same, drill a bolt, put that bolt in, then we'll be just about ready to hang the new bumper. Alright gang, it's day 2. Sorry about that, I had some prior commitments I had to deal with yesterday, so I couldn't continue. This morning, another hot, sweltering, humid southern Texas day. Gotta love it. Went ahead and took out the fog lights from the factory bumper, and what we're going to do now is switch them over to the brackets to go onto the ARB bumper. So the first thing we got to do is remove the adjuster screw here from the factory bracket. This may be a little bit different from what it's showing. I guess we'll figure it out. That loose. That loose. Alright, so I was just getting a little ahead of myself here. Alright, first thing we got to do is going to take one of these plastic nut certs or whatever you want to call it. This is going to go to this hole here on the top of the bracket, like so. Then we have these capture nuts, and these are going to pop in to each of these holes here from the back side. Like so. Alright. Then what we're going to do, we're going to take this and screw it in to here. Alright, so we're going to pop this first peg in to the bracket. And the second one. Hey, this bracket's a little strong. I've got me a flathead here somewhere. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright. There we go. Now it makes sense. Of course, it's telling us to run this in to it's pretty much parallel to the bracket, but that's just initial installation. We'll go back later and adjust it. All right, one other thing we got here. This is the surrounds for the fog lights. So your choice if you want to put these on or not. Basically, once you get the bumper together, you're going to put a bead of silicone or double side tape around here and put them in place. Give it a nice clean look. It's nice that ARB thought about that. So I've got these here. We'll deal with them later. So now I'm going to get all this stuff off the top here, and we're going to unveil the bumper itself. Alright, so we finally get down to the unboxing of the bumper itself. It said this is the ARB Deluxe, the best one that they make. It is rather pricey. The cost of steel and everything in the world right now. A few years ago, I looked up this bumper, and it was about $1,200, which is to be expected. But now, $2,222, with the cost of steel and the shipping and everything, it's ridiculous. I paid over $2,000 for this bumper. But hey, it's worth it. And what can you do? So the crate that it comes in is pretty sturdy. One of the reasons I went with ARB, because ARB has been around a long time. And those crazy Aussies, go on YouTube and look around. Those Aussies know how to off-road. Every one of their products is tried, true, tested, proven before they ever put it on the market. One of the things I love about this bumper, it wraps around on both sides, protect your front quarters. As you see here, they provide you with turn signals, places to put your factory fog lights, recessed fair lead mount, and also a place to mount your the license plate. If you're in a state like this, it requires you to have a front license plate. And the best part, the winch gets hidden behind the bumper. Therefore, it's damn near impossible for anybody to try to steal your winch, which is a good thing. But right now, I'm not installing a winch. That will come at a later date, because the winch that I'm going to get is going to be a Serpa. And they also are made in Australia. They're probably some of the best winches that you never heard of in the world. It's the only winch that I know of that they did a test where they put a Serpa underwater, salt water, and let it run. I believe it's like 24, 48 hours with no damage to it. Alright, this is pretty simple and straightforward. Per the instructions, we're going to remove this hardware. It's not going to be reused. Inside the kit, we have 4 nut inserts. The brackets are actually built into the wing area of the bumper, so we're going from the back side. Insert these, and then we have new screws in the hardware kit to reattach these from the back side. So I'm going to get that taken care of, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I got her hung up on the truck. And now it's just sitting on the brackets. I still got to put the main mounting bolts in. And get those put in, and then come back and I'll show you got a few other little details to do. And we'll get it lined up, get everything adjusted up, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so the next accessory we have here, since I'm not putting a winch in it right now, we have this cover plate. It comes with a rubber seal. You stick that on there, trim it to fit. And when you mount this, you put the narrower end towards the front. Get this lined up. And per the instructions, we're going to use these Allen head button screws. These are stainless steel. Drop these in. Just grab you a 10mm wrench and an appropriate size Allen wrench and snug them down. There's that side. Do the same here. This gives it a nice clean look for the installation. Alrighty. Yeah, so it gives a nice clean look up here and covers all the access holes that you normally have to get to the winch. Plus you can use that as a step if need be if you're working on the vehicle. Alright, the next item we've got is the license plate bracket. We'll need 2 bolts, 2 washers, and 2 nuts. They're all 10mm. What you're going to do here, you got a narrower side and a longer side. Basically one side allows adjustment. You're going to put this one on the bar itself. And say if you're not going to run a winch, you can actually bring it down if you want. Drop it down here. When you mount your license plate a little bit lower, you can flip it over. It's just your choice. Alright, so there's our license plate bracket. Then I'll mount my license plate on the higher side here. That way it won't be in the way of smacking anything. So really the only thing left is we have the side pieces. Let me grab those and move the camera and show you what those are all about. Alright, so the last piece that we have to install is this end plate. This mounts right here on the end of the bumper, and what this does, it helps hold the splash shield up out of the way. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is show you how we put that in. We're going to use 2 of the captured nuts, or cage nuts as they call them in the manual. I'm going to pop these in from the back side. Just like so. And like so. Then we're going to use the black bolts and washers that are supplied. Now when you put these on, you notice there's a bend to it. You want this bend facing towards your front tire, because you're going to be having to put some pressure up against this shield. And actually we may end up just going ahead and trimming it. It does recommend trimming that shield off, so I think we might go ahead and do that. This is pretty much a gap filler is what it is. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and install this, and then we're going to trim that piece back. These little reciprocating tools are the boss. I tell you, if you don't have one, you need to get one. They are amazing. So, I say, trim it how you will, whatever your likings are. I'll probably end up just getting rid of these inner fender guards anyway, because they tend to hold a lot of mud. But that's pretty much it for the install. Do the same thing on the other side. The only thing I've got left is I got to tap my wires into my turn signal for the turn signals in the bumper, and then run my harness for my fog lights. And that's pretty much it. Another quick overview here. They give you mounts, additional mounts here for either a antenna or additional lights. Got one on each side. Golly, I guess I ought to take it off the tripod. Alrighty. Have extra mounts here. And once again, another mount here. You know, the Australians, they pretty much out in the middle of nowhere, so they use full length whips on their CB radios. So they generally mount them in the front like this. Alright, there we have it, folks. I'm going to put this other guard on the end plate on this side, then button it up with my fog light harness and tapping in the turn signals. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining me. Please give me a like, drop a comment, share it with your friends. The likes out there, the comments help the algorithm a lot. I was looking the other day, about 98% of the folks watching my videos are not subscribed, so please subscribe. I just broke 100 subscribers the other day, which is a milestone for me. I guess not too bad because I'm not getting the channel out all that much. It's been a little over a year now since I started, and there's bigger and better things coming. So thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time. It's Graybeard. Have a good one.